And we're sitting with Tim Banker, who is the Director of Content and Production for From the Top. And that's a show that you were on, Rachel.
I was.
So let's have a little reunion.
Yeah.
Here.
So wait,
Tim, did you produce her show?
I was absolutely there. I remember Music Institute of Chicago.
Chicago, that's where I was studying.
And we were in a church, right? It was like they had, before they had their space that they have now.
Well, they renovated the church into a concert hall.
I see.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful space. Yeah, absolutely. And I remember it was so exciting. I was 14.
Yep.
I played L'Isla Campanella, and there was a live audience, but you knew that you were being taped.
Right.
So it was like, I can't make any mistakes. Yeah, it was a very memorable experience for me.
Yeah, I remember
and
that
then
show.
doing the interview right after, you know, it's kind of like preparing you to learn how to speak, not just to play.
Right, some performers are more nervous about the interview than they are by their playing.
Absolutely, yeah, we're not used to it.
That's right.
Were you thinking more about La Campanella while you were playing, or, oh my gosh, I have to do an interview after this while you were playing? Do you remember?
You know, I think I was more nervous about the radio part. I think playing is just kind of easier for us.
Wow,
yeah, but it's kind of like, oh my God, we're being taped. There's a live audience. It's very exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the interview was like? What you talked about?
No, but I remember it was. I remember it was not so long. You know,
Right,
I mean, it's kind of more background. You know, probably where I was from, all that. So
a snapshot of who you are at that time.
Fun, yeah.
So off camera, we were talking about what particular show that was, and you knew the number.
I didn't know the number,
no, but you knew
I
the
knew
number
the show.
now.
I knew the show. Yeah. Right now we're recording this show that here at the Cliburn will be 374. If you can imagine, 374.
How many years?
I have been with From the Top since it's the second to last pilot that From the Top did. So that was 19 years ago.
Wow.
We're getting ready to celebrate our 20th anniversary. And
so you know what you're doing now, then?
Well,
you've done a few shows.
Gosh, I wish I could say that with full confidence. We're always learning.
Where do you find the talent? I mean, I know the woods are full of talent.
We find them at places like the Cliburn competition.
This is pretty a hotbed of talent.
It's
right?
incredible. I mean, if you think we won't be, I won't be approaching a few kids, you're wrong. But,
what is the process, though?
We have a national network. After this much time, we simply get applications, you know, through the net. But we also do serious recruitment with a sort of a national network at this point of youth orchestras, teachers, choruses, through our station affiliates. Through just calling people. We still do on-the-ground calls, you know, so because we are always looking for kids that aren't necessarily, you know, in the sort of structure of classical music that we can feature, so we can, you know, find a young performer and really give them a great opportunity they might not get.
How was that in the beginning then, finding that talent were you establishing a network of contacts still?
Absolutely. It was a lot harder, you know, definitely having to do a lot more cold calling and getting the trust of teachers, getting the trust of kids themselves. And, you know, it wasn't for a while that our sort of national reputation started to emerge, and then young people really wanted to be on the program. Now it's we're lucky, you know, it's at this point it's a wonderful badge of honor for young people like the Cliburn, you know, so we get to enjoy that talent.
Rachel, do you remember how it happened for you? How did it happen that you got to be on the show?
I think just the fact that the show was coming to Chicago.
That's right.
Yeah, because for me that hadn't happened before, and that was so exciting. It was my music school.
Right.
It was right in my hometown, so I didn't have to go to Boston or another location. I know that's what happens with some other musicians, that they get, you know, they still have to drive maybe 2 hours or a little bit further away from their hometown. But I was lucky because you came to us.
Yeah, and wherever we tour nationally, and we do shows all around the country. They're live events, and everywhere we go, we have at least 1 or 2 local performers. So that's a wonderful thing for us, because we can be, you know, it expands automatically who we get to feature. But every show also has a national portrait, so we fly kids in as well to every show.
Take us through a typical show. What happens first?
All right. Well, first, of course, we find the young performers, and every show is a puzzle. We want every show to have gender diversity, every show to have age diversity, every show we give away scholarships, right? So every show has to have a couple of kids who qualify for our scholarship, which is needs-based. And every show has to have instrument diversity. And then we want good stories. It isn't just who makes the best music when we cast from the top. It's who can tell us a great story.
Right.
And so all of those things come into play. We then select a group of kids. They get excited. We fly them to where they're going to go. It's about a 4-day process with us.
To take one show?
Yeah, because we do a lot of leadership development with the young musicians. Just like the Cliburn here has, these incredible other activities that you guys are doing. Every from the top sort of experience has community engagement and has arts leadership workshops, as well as the recording.
So that's a big deal. That's a lot of programming that you're doing for these kids.
Right.
And you do it how many times per year?
I would say 16 to 18 live events a year, and then there are a bunch of other things that happen too. But yeah.
Wow.
So
fantastic.
It's great fun. Yeah.
We are so happy to have you here, Tim Banker.
It is such an honor. It is such a no-brainer for From the Top to be at the Cliburn with this unreal talent.
It gets better every time. It's it's sort of like people run the mile in a little bit shorter time every year.
Isn't that scary?
It also happens with young pianists as well. Tim Banker, we thank you.
Thank you. It was great to be with you.